Hi, it's Alan Mendelson, and I'm here with Tom, one of the senior resolution officers, and we're here to find out what happens when you actually make the call. First of all, we tell you it's a free call. Is it really a free call?
Yeah, it's the call itself is completely free. When you call in, I kind of go over and talk about, we go over first the problem, how you got into the tax debt.
Uh,
And then I've done so many cases. I've done over 1,000 cases. So I've seen almost every variability from 3,000 up to 3 million and everything in between. So I'll go over your options in regards to, clients that I've had and what's going to work and what's not.
One of the things we talk about all the time is the advice or the consultation you give about the Fresh Start Program and the Offer and Compromise Program. You really talk about those.
Oh, yeah, of course. So we go through the Fresh Start Initiative is a basket of programs. One of them is a penalty abatement, another is submitting an offer. There's even an innocent spouse clause. So I will use absolutely anything at my disposal to get your tax debt as close to zero as possible.
Okay, this is all very important. The Fresh Start Initiative is really a basket of different programs, offers, and options that you might have with the IRS to settle your tax debt.
Exactly. And some clients get hung up on, because they hear it on the radio, let me submit an offer, let me submit an offer. I'm like, we can do that, but that might not be the best bet and that might not give you the best savings. So sometimes a penalty abatement gets you the closest to zero. My goal is just to get the client to get as much of this tax debt removed by any means necessary.
Okay, let's go through a make believe sequence of a phone call. Somebody calls you up and they say, Tom, I'm glad I got you on the phone. Is this really a free call?
Yes, it's a completely free call. Let's see what options are available in regards to your tax debt.
What questions are you going to ask them?
So I'm going to ask them, the biggest thing for me is how old is the tax debt? Because if it's the older it is, the better it is. So that's what I'm going to find out. Second, how did you get into the tax debt? So what was the reason? Kind of just a diagnostic. And then I start going through three areas to determine eligibility. Because if the tax debt isn't eligible, my hands are tied. I can't really do much. So I'll go through income, assets, and expenses. And from there, I have a pretty good picture as to if they're going to be able to fit into one of these baskets of programs.
Does somebody need all these firm details when you ask them for assets and income, and what do they need?
Oh, that's a great question. So some people are in a car or where they don't have all the paperwork. That's completely fine. I don't need exact numbers on the first call. Just if you could just remember generally, like if your insurance is, if it's exactly 121 and you remember that it's just around 120 or something like that, that's fine. You don't need exact numbers.
So if you know what your mortgage payment is, what your rent payment is, these approximate numbers and things like that. Your income, whether or not you were divorced and married and so on. I mean, these are all general information.
Exactly.
You don't need exact specific things. You don't need the tax return in front of you or not having a tax return in front of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're completely correct. The IRS is going to ask to verify it later, but we don't need it in the beginning part, no.
Okay, very good. And you do talk about the offer and compromise.
Yes, of course. That's one of the,
You do talk about the Fresh Start Initiative. You talk about the innocent spouse clauses that the IRS can offer someone to get out of it. You talk about penalty abatements and things like that. And this is a crucial time to do it because the IRS is getting a lot more active now than they were, even just 3 months ago.
Oh, yeah, that's great that you touched on that. So I'm sure you've seen in the news that bill I've been following it for over a year. And all of a sudden, overnight, it went from 0 to 60, where it's like passed House, Senate, on the president's desk, and now we got 87,000 new IRS agents.
Which is amazing. And all that money, it's something like $80 billion, half of it going to enforcement.
Yes, that's great. Yep, you're completely correct.
Yeah, so this is going to be a mess. When is this all going to hit the fan? I mean, because they've got to train these people and they got to get them going, but you sense it's all going to hit the fan pretty soon.
Well, yeah, that's just it's moving at such a pace. They've already started to hire them. They're already training them. It takes a process to train them, but they're going to start issuing the badges. They're ordering them the ammo. So everything is getting ready for these agents. I mean, at the end of the day, there's only 786 billionaires. So they're not hiring 86,000 agents to go after 700, some odd people. They're coming after us.
That's a very interesting number. Because that's what we're told. We're told they're going after people with incomes greater than $400,000 a year. But the reality is when you've got 87,000 new agents looking to increase revenue, they're not just going after people making more than $400,000 a year.
Completely not. And I watched it all night during the Senate votes and Resolution 5404. They said, can we go after people at under 400K? They can. So it is official. There's no like, we're not going to go after them. They are allowed to.
Okay, very good. So again, it's a free call. You got to make the call.
Yep.
It's a casual conversation.
Yep.
You don't need the hard numbers. You could call from your car.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we go through it in our car. I mean, we've gone through the whole interview. I find out that it qualifies. A person pulls over. I send them the IRS docs, and it's at the IRS
Right.
shortly after. So the process, we can speed it along for you.
The other question is, how quickly can you really stop things like wage garnishments?
That's a great question. So a wage garnishment, it takes a little bit. I guess the fastest I've seen it done is 60 days.
Uh-huh.
But we if there's a garnishment or a levy or a lien, anything like that, we definitely want to act as fast as possible. Those are the cases that we would expedite and really put urgency on.
Right. And the idea is if you call now and start the ball rolling now, you'll be in a better position than if you wait for these 87,000 new agents to start working.
Oh, completely. So some people are worried, I don't want to rattle the cage. And I tell my clients, I'm like, it's almost like you got the gun pointed on the back of your head all day and you never know when they're going to pull it. So you're getting charged interest and penalties every day, even if they're not contacting you, there's still damage being done. So that's why you want to take care of it.
Right. Very good. Tom's great. Give everybody your phone number. This is Tom's direct phone number. You can call Tom.
Yeah, please call me. I'd love to speak with you. 949-359-0810. Just remember, Tom, like taxes, I am so happy to help you out.
Give the number again and do it slowly because people are going to write it down now.
All right. 949-359-0810.
And we're also going to have the phone number in our description underneath the video. Tom, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Everybody just make the call.